Rachel from Fearne Rosie. How you doing, Rachel?
I'm very good. How are you?
Really well, thank you. Thank you very much for joining us today.
Are you having a good day?
I am, yeah. It's been a pretty
Good,
good day. Not bad
good.
at all. It's pretty windy outside today in Yorkshire, so yeah, staying
Yeah,
in for
not raining though. Nice and dry,
yeah,
which is
yeah,
good.
it's good. All good. So yeah, absolutely delighted to have you with us. And if you'd like to kick things off by telling us a little bit about exactly who you are, what you do, and how long you've been doing it for, please.
I'll do my best. So my name is Rachel and I am Fearne Rosie's mum. I'm a former teacher who developed and launched a range of higher fruit and lower sugar jams. We launched pretty quickly and went from, I say, kitchen table, like everything started at home in my kitchen, and we scaled up and now are working with Waitrose, Ocado and Yorkshire Morrisons as well, which is great
Brilliant.
news. So yeah, we've been super excited. One of the other things that we do is, I think one of the things that makes us special is that we're a B Corp. So I always try and work to healthier, tastier, happier. So everything that we do is a healthier product. It tastes better because that's really important. And we try and make that happier impact. So we're B Corp. We are also proudly partnered with BBC Children in Need. And everything that we do, we try to make that positive impact. Like as a B Corp, we're balancing profit for purpose and trying to make sure that we're building a business that is a force for good.
Brilliant. That's excellent. Thank you for sharing that. So, I mean, I think you've possibly reflected on what makes you different or stand out from your competitors in that summary of what you do. But if there's a little bit more detail about, yeah, what makes you stand out, and perhaps the reason why you started it.
I think people sometimes say they have like a light bulb moment when they start a business, and I don't think I did have a light bulb moment. I always think I had like a series of sparks. So as a teacher, I could see there was a campaign by Jamie Oliver around school dinners, and there's legislation in place for what children can and cannot eat at school dinner time, but the legislation doesn't extend to breakfast clubs or after school clubs.
Right.
And those are really important times of a school day, but of a child's day. And I think as a teacher, I could see the impact of the children that came to school that had a healthy breakfast, the children that came to school that had an unhealthy breakfast, and also the children that came to school and hadn't had any breakfast, and the impact that would have on their whole world. So I kind of had that. And then also I became a parent, and so I had Fearne and Rosie. We've now got George as well. And I think when I had my children, I started to learn about food and about weaning in a completely different way. And as a first-time parent, was quite meticulous with the foods that I wanted at Fearne to be eating, and started to learn a lot more about what was in the products that were on the supermarket shelves at the moment. And I felt like there should be a healthier alternative. So I think that I had that as well. And then my third thing, I think, is that my husband runs a wonderful small business called Radar Preserves, who are fab, like they're fab, especially around in the world of Yorkshire. Like they're in shops like Mainsgill, and they are in Bodder in Harrogate as well. So some great independents. And so I'm always cautious when I say this, but I knew how much sugar there was in jam. So because I knew how much sugar was in jam, it made sense to me that there should be a healthier product on the market, and that was why we've created Fearne and Rosie.
So thank you for that. So, what's the journey been like to date? What year did you start, and to the point now, how's it been in terms of a business journey? Has it been up and down? Has it been kind of slow and then a big upward curve like the hockey stick? What's it been like for you?
So we registered as a limited company in November 2019, and very quickly we were able to launch with Waitrose, which was, I think, when we developed the product, I set myself a target of trying to see if we could get into like 10. I remember thinking, I'll see if we can get into 10 farm shops, and I think I got like 30 within the first month. So we got very quick early traction, and very quickly were picked up by Waitrose, which was brilliant news. I think that showed that there was a gap in the market, and that probably the idea was a good idea. And I think we launched into Waitrose really quickly, but I didn't know anything really about working with supermarkets or about being in retail. So we launched into Waitrose, and then I didn't really know what to do. So the product was in Waitrose and doing okay. But I think what I needed was kind of business expertise and people that had worked within retail and knew how to grow food brands. Because actually, I think what I'm quite good at possibly is like knocking on the doors and explaining why it's an important product. But once we get in, that's when I need support, and that's where I've focused my time on building out a team that are experts. Like the team that I work with now are wonderful humans, and I always think they know a lot more than me and have a lot more expertise than me in all the different areas, and that's what will grow the business ultimately. So the fact that sometimes when I sit down with them all, because they're all so clever and so experienced and so nice as well, like they're such a lovely team, it can be quite intimidating because they're all so wonderful. But I think that's why the business has grown, and that's why we'll continue to grow, because the team we have and the team we're building are just lovely. So yeah, very lucky. Yeah, excellent. Super lucky.
So what does the future look like then, from where you are now to what you can predict, and what do you see as the main challenges are going ahead?
We're forecasting quite rapid growth for the next foreseeable, really. So I think our 3-year plan takes us to 5 million in revenue, which is ambitious because we are tiny, but that's the plan. And that only happens if and when we're lucky enough to start to unlock further retail listings. So we're in conversations with all of the major multiples within the UK about what a launch would look like with them, which is a great place to be. But it's figuring out how we make sure we build the brand in the best possible way, and how we support those retailers and ultimately get the product out to families, because what we want to try and do is make like affordable, accessible food, healthier, available for all families. So we need that wider distribution.
Brilliant. And so kind of moving on to yourself as a business owner and your experience so far, I mean, sounds like a brilliant journey. What have you learned along that journey to date? What would you say is the biggest lesson that you've had?
I think my business partner now is the man called Giles Brook. He was initially my mentor and is now my business partner, and I think some of the advice that he's given me lots of wonderful advice, but one of the things was that you learn a lot more from your mistakes. So I have definitely made a lot of mistakes, and I hope that I've learned from those. So silly things like making sure we've got the procedures in place, everything's written down, everything captured, because I think when you are a startup, you move in so quickly that kind of as you grow, it's important to realize that you are growing. And so you need to grow up a little bit actually and operate more as like a mature business, making sure we've got policies and procedures in place to keep us and everybody else safe. So yeah, learning from your mistakes, asking for help as well, I think is that's been my biggest learning, is always asking for help. And like I said, the team I've got around me, my friends in the industry and outside of the industry, I always ask for help, because that's how I'll learn, and that's how ultimately we'll get better.
It's a great share. It's a common one in terms of making mistakes, and that's natural, and it's the way we learn. But also asking for help and being vulnerable, I suppose, in that sense, is a great opportunity to learn as well. If you're asking for help, you're going to get the answers that you seek. So,
and I think people, like generally humans are wonderful people, so I think we all want to help each other. So if you can ask for help, people will help you, because people are good people and they want to help. So I think it's a good thing for everybody to try and ask for help and all learn from each other, and that's how we'll all be, that's how we'll all get better and better.
Definitely, yeah. Here. I second that. That's a good share. Thank you. So what inspires you to do what you do? Again, I could hazard a guess because of some of the answers and the reasons why you've set up the company. Yeah, if there's any inspiration that you use, so the team that you work with, your customers, obviously your family, your friends, and if there's anything that you read or listen to that you'd like to share, then feel free.
My bottom line is always that we need to provide healthier choices for families and for children. So I think when I was a teacher, I was always trying to make positive impacts and inspire children to be the best that they could be. And I think the biggest reason that I left teaching and went into Fearne Rosie full time was because I believe there's an opportunity to make a wider impact. I strongly believe if I do a good job with Fearne Rosie, I will make a wider positive impact and be able to impact change, make people smile, and encourage everybody to lead a healthier and happier lifestyle, which is what we're trying to do. So I think I always, no matter how busy it gets, go back to that line of we need to provide healthier choices for families. And that is what drives me all the time. No matter what happens, that's my full stop.
Brilliant. Love it. Thank you. And then lastly, in terms of latest news around what you're up to, again, there's a bit's been shared there in terms of your growth and what you're looking to achieve, where you're looking to go in the next 3 years. Is there anything else, latest news around your business that you'd like to share, or even just mention your website so we can check it out and know where to go to get some jam?
Thanks so much. Yeah, so it's fearneandrosie.co.uk. We are mainly on Instagram. We are on Facebook, and I need to do some other bits of it as well. But like fearneandrosie.co.uk, or we're on LinkedIn as well. And news, we've just launched. We've got new jars, actually, new bigger jars. Yes, very good. Worked really hard on these. They're launching into Waitrose. They've had their first order was today. So that should start trickling into store within the next 2 weeks. It's the same on Ocado, so the jars are going to be 320 grams bigger. And also we do have a new retail launch coming in February, but I won't say who it is yet, but it's a very exciting one that's coming soon. So that's good news.
Brilliant. Exciting times ahead. It's been absolutely
great.
Yeah, pleasure talking to you. Thanks, Rachel, and I wish you all the best for that 3-year plan to come to fruition.
Thank you so much. That's very kind of you. Fingers crossed.
Thank you.